We're number one. We're number one. Well, they're number one, anyways. Rich Rodriguez and company, not the number two, the number one recruiting class in the entire Big 12. This is enormous news, and it needs to be celebrated.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host in here. Welcome back into Locked On West Virginia, where we're talking Big 12 recruiting and Mountaineer recruiting again today, as the West Virginia Mountaineers have pulled off quite the feat. Quite the feat indeed. This episode is going to be brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Welcome into Locked On. We are the number one sports podcasting network in the country, and very proud of that. Thanks for joining in. My name is Mountaineer Paul, as I said. Going to be brought to you by FanDuel. You want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. You will not regret it. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being a part of Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. Got a buddy with me here tonight, somebody we haven't had on the show in about a week or two, well, a week and a half or so. Somebody we're glad to have back on the show. He is the offensive coordinator of the Kennesaw State. What's up, Troy?
Kennesaw State. I actually, college football game came out in 2025.
They've got nice uniforms.
I went the tough route and Road to Glory, and so I do have a connection there. Took them to the playoff.
Well, so technically you were the offensive coordinator of Kennesaw State. They've got nice uniforms, by the way. That gold and black look, it's classic. Nice
uniforms, high school stadium.
Yeah. Nice uniforms, high school stadium. Is that how it's filed away in your head?
It's Road to Glory.
The Mountaineers did a thing yesterday. I didn't know if you paid attention, but they had like 5 or 6 recruits come in.
yeah, it was a couple.
So what are your thoughts on the size? Does size matter, Troy? We'll ask you the question of all questions.
It's pretty cool to see just how quickly you end the season Saturday, didn't feel good, and then within a couple of days you just feel really good about the future of the program. You feel really good about what's happening in recruiting, and it's almost like, how they say laughing is contagious. I feel like just the excitement that the coaches and the players and all of them have about how many guys they're bringing in, but the quality of guys that they're bringing in, 4-star recruits that they're bringing in and getting to commit to the future of this Mountaineer program is contagious. Like it's hard to like sit and say, reflect on the season that was and be like down in the dumps right now. Like I'm excited about the future of this program, and I'm ready to start the season tomorrow, dude. It's really exciting.
Agreed, man. Obviously this is a class highlighted by guys like Kevin Brown, Matt Sig, Amari Latimer, Keon Hutchins. There's a lot of really good players in this class. But I just want to talk about the totality of it really quick for a second. If you go look at On3 right now, they have West Virginia ranked the number one recruiting class in the conference. Now, if you look at the numbers, typically in this era, teams are keeping right around 30 or 40% of their recruiting classes, so it's pretty low. Mm-hmm. There's still not enough data out there to really say what the average is in this new era. Probably going to be even, especially with the class this size, it wouldn't be a stretch to see 20 guys gone from this class next year.
Yeah.
With that said, are your thoughts on the class being this big? What are your thoughts on it? Because obviously you're losing 30 seniors, right? I mean, have you thought about this part of it yet? You're losing 30 seniors. Obviously we've had a guy, we just had Tyron Dews enter the portal, or Tyshawn Dews, whichever Dews, enter the portal just a little bit ago. Jude entered there, Jude Edwards, and a couple other people. So obviously you're going to lose. Their conversations are being had. Did you think, would you rather have seen, because they went the other route last year, right? With the big portal class trying to replace. Do you think you would rather have the recruiting class in this sense?
Well, based on what we just saw, yes. I think the only
the quality is much better than our portal class was, right?
Certainly. And I think the only and I don't even think concern is the right word, but it's so different from what we're used to as Mountaineer fans lately with football and basketball, with how heavily we've entered the portal, to get guys. And so it's like foreign to us a little bit. It feels different, and yet it's an exciting different. And when you mentioned as far as like retaining all of these guys, I mean, the likelihood of that is just not likely, but that doesn't mean you go and if someone that's talented wants to come to your school, you bring them in. And, I mean, the reality is obviously when the transfer portal, when you go get guys from there, and we're going to, obviously, because we know this team isn't going to start 22 freshmen, right, on offense and defense. They're going to bring in guys that are upperclassmen. You just need it to be the right fit for your program. So I think it's exciting again. And while it's different and unique, and it's like, holy cow, 40 plus guys, that are freshmen coming in or JUCO guys transferring in. I mean, let's go for it. Again, like you just mentioned, the caliber of player that you're getting is thrilling, right? Because we're at the top of the ranks in the Big 12, not because we have so many guys, but because the quality of the guys that we're bringing in.
Yeah, like I said earlier on the show, which I think a lot of people repeated it since it's been a talking point here the last 48 hours, we'll say. The way these recruiting services operate is they just count your top 19 guys. That's what they do. So, yes, it's a bloated class generally. And yes, it would look like to somebody that's not as astute that this class is only rated high because it's big, but it's really truly because of what's at the top of it. If you look at the top 20 highest rated guys, I mean, they're really good players. You've got Kevin Brown, Matt Sig, Amari Latimer, Keon Hutchins. Let's just kind of put each one of these in perspective a little bit. Kevin Brown, the number 2 or 3 or 4, depending on where you look, offensive lineman in all of high school football. So, yeah, that's really high quality. Matt Sig, Notre Dame, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Alabama, Michigan, everybody in the country wanted this small school kid. And he's going to play 2 ways at West Virginia. And it was a signing day shocker. They were literally shocked on 247 when he announced that. Pre-show, they knew on the show, they pretended to be shocked. But before the show, they really were shocked. It was what I read. So obviously he's an incredible player, incredible piece. In my opinion, potentially the most immediate impact player is Amari Latimer, who absolutely, in my opinion, him and Kevin Brown are neck and neck with who I think will make the biggest impact right now. So anyways, we don't have to break each one down right now. Keon Hutchins, the number 1 JUCO receiver in all of JUCO, right? Christopher Talley, one of the most, not elite, but like as far as speed goes, one of the speediest, jukiest kind of guys. Vincent Smith's only just another 4-star player on a couple outlets. Cam Moody was mentioned alongside Matt Sig on the 247 show where they talked about Matt Sig flipping to West Virginia. He said, "Oh, yeah, I love this class." Cam Moody or Cam Mallory. Yeah, he's absolutely – I said Cam Moody because he's from Moody, Alabama. Cam Mallory, yeah, absolutely love that guy. Jaron Hughley, mentioned him too on there. It was one of the better dual threats in the country. So, you can go on and on and on. Trey McLaughlin, yeah, absolutely. From Bixby yesterday, he only decommitted from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You can go down and down and down the list. Keon Hutchins was the number 1 rated JUCO receiver. Triplett was the number 3 rated receiver. You get into the other JUCO guy that we got yesterday, Thomas. He was the number 7 JUCO defensive lineman. You get into the guy named Boswell. He was the number 2 rated running back in JUCO. Rich Rod went the JUCO route and said, "Hey, let me just take what I want from JUCO and get the top," right? So point is, it's all quality for the most part on this class.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you rattled off a bunch of names that I was going to go to as well, man.
Well, you can still talk about them. We can go to break and do that if you want to get into your guys.
Yeah, we can do that. But, the only thing I'll say too is you can even see, you see Rich Rod and his comments and his interviews even lately, like you can see almost like a swagger about him, right? He feels good about what he's doing. And I think I read a comment where obviously it's a whole different ballgame this year where he's been here a year rather than just coming into this program that had a lot of guys going out and you had to go pull guys. Like Rich Rod is being more, I guess, is it fair to use the word intentional? Being more intentional about who he's going and getting?
Intentional is a good word.
And you can see that in the type of players that we're getting. So that's exciting.
On to break. We'll come back. We'll talk about some of our guys. Who does Troy like? What are his top 5 guys in this class that he really likes, that thinks can maybe make an impact next year or over the years? That's where we go next. And on this one, we're talking about our friends at FanDuel. With FanDuel, guys, you got to know we love FanDuel. Why do we love FanDuel? Because it's exciting, man. We love FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast like FanDuel. One big play and everything suddenly feels different. That's what makes live betting feel so exciting with FanDuel. You're not just watching the game, you're matching it in real time, right? With FanDuel, you place live bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, and every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump live into the moment. Pretty good stuff. Live spreads, player props. You can bet the next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, etc. The more it keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility, the better. And if you want to be in the middle of the action this season, FanDuel, you must visit them today, because you want to place all your NFL live bets all season long with FanDuel. As the game moves fast, so can you. Back with Troy from the Mountaineer Moment show. Tell them a little bit about your show, man.
Sure. Yeah. Mountaineer Moment, your source, as we like to say, for all things West Virginia football and basketball. Lately been a lot of basketball content over there. If you're interested, go check it out. We just dropped a West Virginia Wake Forest preview, that big game coming up tomorrow night. So my preview episodes have been doing pretty well. So I love it. And super thankful for any amount of support I get. I feel like I say every episode over there, like, if you think enough about what I'm producing here to leave a comment or drop a like, it means the world to me. So Mountaineer Moment, your source for West Virginia football and basketball. Come on over.
Come on over. I vouch for Troy. That's why I bring him on the show. I think I watched an episode of his when he was really early on. Could tell he was polished, which he is. He's got thousands of podcasts under his belt from other content that he's made. So one thing I'm not going to do, and I've said from the beginning, is I'm always going to, try to promote people who are where I once was. So try to make sure we always do that,
Yeah, appreciate that. You have been. You're the same on camera, off camera. So I appreciate that.
Well, appreciate it. Top 5 guys, man. I think for me, there are a lot of guys, and I could have a billion combinations. I really could. Mm-hmm. I'm an overly optimistic fan. I think a lot of people know that about me by now. There are some guys I don't like in the class too, which I don't ever really want to talk about. But anyways, we're on the top 5 guys. Give me some guys in this class, 5 or more. If you want to give more, just start talking, Sure. Give me what you got.
Yeah. The big ones that we've named, obviously Kevin Brown, and you and I have done enough talking about that. Maybe not enough because of how good of a talent he is. Excited for him.
Very true.
I believe he can make an instant impact. I'd say I have 3 others that, and Amari Latimer is in that same category. I was stoked, shocked, every positive adjective that you can use to describe that.
He's probably my favorite, him and Kevin.
He is good. He is good. And I was thrilled that we got him to commit, obviously flipping from Wisconsin, and I had offers from just about everywhere.
He's the prototypical Wisconsin running back too.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he belongs in like those or mid 2000s or whatever.
They've had
had all those really great running backs. Oh my God. It's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, they've had some guys. So he's one. Obviously, again, I think certainly the potential for him to have an instant impact. Sig that you've mentioned, and I believe, and he was the kind of the pull for him was because he can play both sides. Maybe that's what attracted him to West Virginia.
Yeah. Big pull. It was a big pull for him.
Yep. So that's good. And then I'll give you 2 more. Deshaun Woods, JUCO O lineman. I think he's going to be good. And I like the JUCO route too that are they're sprinkled in here. I'll mention another one in a second, but because that's big, because there's a big difference even between, an 18-year-old coming out of high school and a 21-year-old that's coming for the JUCO ranks. And because you expect the JUCO guy to be plug and play if you're bringing him in here to Morgantown, because they're a grown man now. And Sean Woods and his size, he's a grown man. I think he can be good. And then, so that's the last two I'll mention. One, he helps you get the offensive line right. And then two, we need speed, and Keon Hutchins brings that. I was like battling depression when he decommitted and then committed. I don't know what you know about that, but that was like, oh no. And then it's like, oh, thank goodness he's here, because that kid can fly.
Yeah. I just think he was being recruited really hard by other schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And West Virginia reeled him back in.
Sir Paul Cheek's another guy with some speed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As soon as he gets back healthy again, I have no doubts that he will be another one that West Virginia should be very happy to have. No doubt about it. I'll give you a couple guys that I really like, and I'm going to try to go outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to try to go in position by position here. Wyatt Brown is probably one of the most underrated players in the class. Lefty quarterback, can really run, and he is an ultra competitor. The guy that we got alongside him now, then John Johnson III. Have you seen his tape yet? Oh my God, the dude! I mean, Rich Rod. He was recruited at receiver other places. Rich Rod said you can play quarterback here, so we'll see what that turns out to be. But he is dynamite as well, and he and Wyatt are going to be a really fun battle to watch. John Johnson's 5'10", 185 pounds, had over 10,000 yards in his career. So Wyatt Brown is one of those dudes. I love them both, but I obviously I'm trying to pick only a couple guys here. I mentioned Amari Latimer. Martavius Boswell is extremely explosive. A lot of people have compared him to Steve Slayton. I do think that there are some similarities. Steve was a little thicker, I think, but Boswell certainly has some of those qualities that Steve Slayton had. So, I can see that. Out of the wide receivers that we got Keon Hutchins, we got Triplett, we got Robert Stith, who we haven't said a lot about, Landon Drum, who was come over from Alaska, Malachi Thompson, who's from Nitro, West Virginia, Greg Wilfred from New Orleans, and Charlie Hannafin from Massachusetts. Love the receiver room we got. I think it's still going to get better. We've been predicted to land this kid here, who I think is going to be an immense talent, Samson Gash, out of Detroit Central Catholic. As you see his highlights on the screen now, he's a speed demon. I liken him to Shelton Gibson. That's my comp for him.
Okay. Yep.
A very, he's right around 6 feet, so he's not big, but he's not small, and just incredible speed.
Vertical threat right there. That's
real big
Gibson.
Vertical threat, but I mean, also really good at high pointing the ball. You'll see on a couple of plays. I mean, they give him on reverses. They had him in Wildcat. They had him a little everywhere. They're a nice stiff arm, and you can see he's just got some wiggle to him as well. Nice cut back to the inside, and then you see him high point the ball. Well, this is on a punt return. I forgot he did this. This is another thing he has in his toolbox. As you see him take it from left all the way over to the right side, and then just start cutting around. That's what you like, man. And he's just a really fast guy. And I love that he can wiggle a little bit at full speed. You got to have guys like that. This is the main play. Watch this high point here. He's at the top of your screen. Beautiful job, So he's got a little bit of everything to him. 4-star player for a reason. So I do think West Virginia, if they end up landing him, which it's being reported now that they will by Greg Smith from Rivals, that's going to be a big one for West Virginia. He would be my top wide receiver, obviously, if they got him. Offensive line, you got Kevin Brown, but Jonas Muya, the 6'7", just behemoth, and Camden Goforth, man, Cam Goforth's got a highlight reel on his page, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, where he just pancakes over 100 people, literally.
Love it.
It's incredible. You can go Yinder Mack, but I'll give you one on the defensive line, and we're going to play the tape right now of Jalen Thomas, who has become one of my top 5 favorites in this class. 6'3", 310-pound JUCO defensive lineman, the top nose JUCO in the country. He is an absolute Lee Thomas kind of player that we just played against Texas Tech. He is not going to be budged in the middle of the field. As you can see, he plays right on the nose, right over the center. And all he does is eat centers for lunch. Watch him lock him out, shed, and get to the ball carrier. That's what he does. And he does it at play after play after play at 6'3", 310 pounds. These guys don't grow on trees, Troy.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
You can see him being a force plugging up the middle all day long.
And he's got quickness as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of these plays here that he blows me away on, man. Yeah, this one here is nice. Little outside stunt for a 310 pounder. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's incredible stuff, So you don't get, West Virginia typically in the past hasn't always got guys like that. So you get excited about it. But and so there's him. There is, let's see, I'll go back over to my list. Defensive backs, man, they picked up a bunch in this class. Rayshawn Reynolds, obviously, and Damon Allen are big ones, but Vincent Smith and Matt Sieg, I mean, how can you do much better? And then the quarterback, Jaron Hughley, as well, who's listed as an athlete. I'm not sure what West Virginia is going to do with him yet. I don't know if they said quarterback or not, Troy. Mm-hmm. I know I named a lot more than 5 guys. If I had to get it down to a top 5, I would really need time to do that. I just like to go over the list and talk about my favorite players,
That's all right. I did fine. It's all right.
Yeah. And Miles Kotsri. God, what am I thinking here? I just had Miles Kotri's coach on earlier. Is an absolute.
Hey, you're muted, Paul. You're muted.
I didn't realize that. I don't know why it muted me for. But, yeah, this is a guy, dude, that they've got him at 22 miles an hour. That's what they've got him running. So, this is a guy that's Sincere Bowers-esque. And as you can see, he flies around the ball, man. He really does. He is a big hitter, the type of guy that you really would love to have on your team, man. And I just had his coach on earlier. We interviewed him. This is him. And he said, and look at that, just absolutely dominating the corner there, or the wide receiver, getting to the ball carrier. I see him in the Fred Perry role. His coach agreed with me. He's a guy that's going to, he's listed as a linebacker. I think he can play nickel and potentially take over that Fred Perry role maybe as early as this year. He's pretty close to a plug-and-play type guy. He was abused. That's right, Carpet Systems. Let's go to break again. Wake Forest, West Virginia, a game that Troy has a lot to say about. We'll talk about it next. And on this episode, we're talking about our friends. Have you ever had a frame that you didn't like? Because our frames is not in that category for me. They have everything I do like. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, our frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap either. It's a way to share memories. Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can actually preload the frame with photos before gifting it. That's when they plug it in. The memories are already there for them. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. And grandparents, newlyweds, parents, anyone who loves photos or who they are for, endless photos of pictures and 30-second videos through the Aura app. Packaging comes gifted ready. No price tag, no wrapping needed. A huge win for you. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used, not forgotten in a drawer. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com for $35 off. Aura's best-selling carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's auraframes.com. Promo code COLLEGE. The deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get in time for the holidays and support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Back with Mountaineer Moments, Troy, the basketball savant, as I call him to my friends, which I have none. Troy, obviously West Virginia plays Wake Forest. I guess we'll find out tomorrow that where Mountaineer fans should be grateful we either did or didn't get Steve Forbes.
Right. No doubt about it. Yeah, is this our first game with Wake Forest since the triple overtime? Have we played them since then in 2000?
I don't believe so.
2000, what was that, 5? Crazy. I don't think we played them since then. That was a classic. Mike Gansey.
111 to 105. I remember
20 points in overtime for Mike Gansey.
Mike Gansey's one of my favorite all-time players. He's one of the best rebounding guards of all time for West Virginia.
Yeah, with the triple XL shirt underneath the jersey, dude.
Oh yeah, right. Classic. the John Beeline with the sleeves rolled up look, blue collar.
Good times, simpler times.
It was a simpler times, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a heck of a game, man. So obviously this game, you come in, it's technically a semi-home game if you look at the Ken Palm for West Virginia. These are games where it probably counts as quad one for Wake Forest if they win. Probably not going to count as quad one for West Virginia. At least that's how I'm understanding it.
Okay.
Because we're considered semi-home. I can't believe that's actually a thing, but it is. Yeah. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't.
Yeah, so Wake Forest is coming off a pretty big drubbing to Oklahoma.
They are.
But other than that, man, they have played really well this season. They destroyed the Campbell team that really gave us trouble. And they almost beat Texas Tech, who was a preseason conference favorite. Yep. They lost that game by 1 point. They also lost the Michigan game by 1 point. So one more bucket, and they've got 2 more wins and probably a top 15 ranking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they are a couple close calls away. Both those games were similar scores. I think one was 85, 84, 84, 83.
They were similar.
High scoring affairs. And, what I'm hoping for, because what I said over on Mountaineer Moment, this is another opportunity against a power conference opponent, and you need to start winning some of these. Obviously, Xavier,
we have to.
That leaves a bad taste
2 of these left.
Right. Yeah. Wake Forest this Saturday, Ohio State next Saturday, and then you got some other ones and lower competition, and then you got conference play after that. Like, we're here, and you need to start winning. So hopefully Mountaineers fare better in Charleston, West Virginia than they did in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh God, why did you bring that up?
6-3.
Now it'll be the curse of Charleston
Deacons. And you're right. By far their worst game was against Oklahoma, ACC SEC Challenge, 86-68. Close game at halftime, and then Oklahoma put 49 on them in the second half. So Wake Forest is going to come out a little bit pissed off, I think, after that one. But they have they've got a well-rounded team, I think, from what I see. I watched that game against Texas Tech. Yeah, Juke Harris is they've got even a complement of guys that are returners and then guys that they've brought in transfers, especially at the guard position. But Juke Harris, as a freshman, averaged 6 points, 3 boards last season. He's at 20 points, 7 rebounds, and almost 2 steals a game for him this season. 26-10 against Texas Tech. And keep in mind who they have playing under the hoop in JT Toppin. So he did his thing in that 1 point game down in the Bahamas. Trayvon Spillers is another returner who's averaging 14 a game for them. And then a pair of guards. Like, they've got some guys that can really score the ball. Miles Colvin and Mekhi Mason from Purdue and Washington, 2 transfers.
Mekhi Mason, that's a name.
So pair of impact transfers that they have averaging double figures. So, they've got some balance. They've got some guys that can fill it up. And West Virginia's going to have their hands cut out for them, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And it's a game you want to win.
They really struggled with the Oklahoma size. I mean, that's really what destroyed them. They struggled with Mo McGee, who really played well in that game, by the way. I don't really think people realize how good Kai Rogers is at Oklahoma. The center that just, man, that dude can really play. He only played 7 minutes in the game against Wake Forest, but he had 2 game-changing plays at the rim. that I really thought were important in that game early in the game. But I mean, Tay Davis and Darion Reed for Oklahoma in that game both went bananas, man.
Right.
So, those are obviously two forwards for one's I believe Darion Reed's he's like a small forward really, but I mean still, I feel like they kind of struggled with the Oklahoma length, even though they're lengthy themselves. Well, I think what they describe them on three guys, Wake Forest is more rangy. What are your thoughts on the size of the Demon Deacons?
Yeah, I mean, Drew Karras listed as a guard at 6'7", and then
it's big.
Yeah, a couple of their other guys are.
That's Chris Henry Jr.
Yeah, right. Yeah, think about that. So yeah, they got some size, but as you mentioned, Oklahoma messed with them. I think Harlan Obioha is key.
He needs to be playing
he struggled a little bit lately, and obviously his breakout game was against Pitt, and the thing that sticks out to me in that game, even way back then, is he led the team in minutes against Pitt. Like, it wasn't just that he was playing well; he was on the court a lot. And lately, with foul trouble and just some inconsistent play, he hasn't been that. But we need him to be a force down low because it opens up so many other guys and what they can do.
I don't want to speculate too much, but has he looked a little ding to you or something, like a little off?
I don't know. Could be. You could be onto something there, but
he seems a little off to me, man. Yeah. He's just not playing with as much oomph as he was. Maybe he's, when you're 7 feet tall, you're at risk to a lot of different kind of nagging injuries that other people aren't as easily with your feet and stuff. Hopefully nothing like that going on. But I do think, we're still kind of figuring out who we are with the new guys that we've added to the roster.
Right.
So hopefully they can make a big impact in this one. I'll tell you this, 1,000% sure. If we come out and play, I mean, look, I've watched a lot of West Virginia games over the years. I would say probably one of the 5 weirdest starts, slowest starts against Coppin State that I've seen. That was so ugly, dude. Yeah. And then their coach is up and gets ejected when you're up. I get it. You didn't like the call, but your kids were playing really hard. It galvanized West Virginia.
Yeah.
So counterintuitive. I don't understand why it happened.
Yeah, that was odd. That was an odd first half all around.
Yeah, super odd all the way around, exactly. But, Hoppy Kirchville said on Three Guys, did you watch that? He said, what he say is something along the lines of the oldest rivalry in college basketball, the old Coppin State versus West Virginia. So, obviously West Virginia is in a spot here where, like you'd mentioned, they need to win. It's just at that point in the non-con because, I mean, you could win enough in conference to get in, but you don't want to have to be that way.
Absolutely. And the options that they have, or the opportunities that they have, I should say, are few and far between now. And you got to get them at some point, and it'd be nice to get some right now, right here, right now, Saturday evening. Take it to them. And it's a team that's been battle tested, 2 top 15 losses by 1 point each. This is not a bad team. They got their sights set on some things in the future too. So gonna be a tough test.
Right meow. She says right meow.
Oh yeah. Ready. She's ready.
Oh God, she's hanging on my leg. Okay. I don't name my animals. I know everybody thinks I'm weird when I say that. I call them both hey baby, hey honey. That's just how I grew up, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just say, hey baby, come here, honey. That's just all I've ever done. There's never really had names that stuck out to me. I'd name my dogs, We're off track. We're off track here.
A little bit. It's all right.
So give me real quick before we get out of here, give me a sense of honestly how you feel like this game's going to go. Take your bias out.
Whew. I think it's going to be a tight contest. I think I'll say first, the thing I'm most intrigued about is West Virginia's defense against Wake Forest's offense. and how we respond. Obviously, we responded well coming out of Charleston with 2 games against 2 teams that we should win, and we did win, and we did play well defensively. But is that going to hold up against a team that is used to scoring in the 80s, right? They scored in the 80s twice and lost. So I'm not comfortable playing a game in the 80s. I don't want it to get there. I think it needs to be for West Virginia to be a little bit more low scoring.
70s.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think if
60s
West Virginia
really the best.
can get some help, to me, like it seems like sometimes some of these games, and I get that it might sound ridiculous, but I get that some of like all of these games we've had like a different leading scorer. But to me, at times it seems like we're a little bit reliant on like Honor Huff is the only guy that can make a 3 sometimes, the only guy you can trust to make a 3. I think he needs to get some help.
Trey started to turn that a little bit last game.
He has, and I think he's going to be big. So I think he has.
He's no longer the biggest problem, that's for sure. He was. Yeah. I mean, his defense was the only thing that was saving him.
Yeah,
like there was a couple games where he didn't score anything. And his plus minus, he was still in the positive because of how his defense looked at times. So
yeah,
I think Trey is.
I think overall it'll be a toss up. I think it's going to be back and forth affair, and I think hopefully West Virginia being semi at home will prevail.
Hopefully, yeah. If not, we'll talk about it.
That's right,
guys. Check out Mountaineer Moment for us. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your time and. Should be an interesting day of fun tomorrow. Keep an eye out for another West Virginia commit, and we'll talk to you about that then. For Troy, for me, let's go Mountaineers and don't forget to cue those country roads.